Well, Howard Johnson will lead it off for the Mets. He has an average of 246 for the year with 15 home runs, 57 runs batted in. In this series, he is 3 for 10. In his last 10 ball games, he has hit in 9 of the 10, batting .300. And this is his 28th time as a leadoff batter for the New York Mets. And the curveball for the first pitch of the game. Martinez features a good curveball. And he is a quality pitcher in every respect as he goes against Howard Johnson here. And there's the fastball. 2 quick strikes.
He's very deliberate. What a contrast in pitching styles. Frank Viola, who will be pitching for the Mets, works rapidly, wants the ball, wants to throw the ball. And Dennis Martinez, I guess he likes his television time.
And you get a good look at the difference of the sunlight and shadow, and it's tough to hit here in the daytime. And that pitch a ball, and it's 1-2. Martinez, also a pitcher who will knock you down. He is a pitcher who will work inside to hitters. 160 lifetime wins. The 1-2 pitch and the curveball grounded foul.
If you look at his record since joining the Expos, Martinez has been pretty consistent as far as his full seasons are concerned. In 1988, he won 15 ball games. In 1989, as Ralph Kiner mentioned, he won 16 games. In 88, he pitched 235 innings. In 89, he pitched 232 innings. I think that's so important to know you're going to have that pitcher who will go out to the mound every 4th day.
With the Expos in 87, after starting the season in the minor leagues, he worked his way back into the majors and had a record of 11-4 for the Expos. So he has been a quality pitcher for Montreal. And that pitch high in the count, 2-2. Mets on the road with a record of 24-24. They're 35-17 at home, the best record in the major leagues at home. And against right-handed starters, they have a record of 34-29. Against left-handed starters, they are 21-20, winning yesterday against the left-handed starter. But they had to come from behind to do it. They've come from behind in 22 of their 59 victories. And this ball is popped up. The shortstop, Spike Owen. And one away. So Martinez retires his first batter, and he'll now pitch to Dave Magadan. Magadan 3 for 10 in this series, but an 0 for 6 last night.
And he really didn't have good swings at the ball last night. Usually a guy like Dave Magadan, we haven't seen him look bad swinging the bat. When he goes 0 for 3 or 0 for 4, he usually has some pretty good rips. But last night he had some weak hacks.
That 0 for 6 dropped him 8 points. So you can see that a time at bat without a base hit is usually about this time of the year a difference of 1 point in your batting average. Magadan hitting .341. He has 4 home runs, 37 RBIs. The leader in the National League is Lenny Dykstra with a .351 average, and then Willie McGee at .333. Magadan has not had enough plate appearances to qualify for the National League batting race, but he will have shortly.
And Magadan a better hitter. He looks like a better hitter than Lenny Dykstra. Of course, Lenny with great speed, having a tremendous season this year. And Willie McGee, if you look at Willie McGee hits, you got to say Dave looks like a better hitter, but McGee's been a pretty good major league hitter for a number of years, and he can also run.
And this ball, a fastball that's fouled back, so the count stays at strike 2.
I think today, when you look at leading hitters in baseball, it's usually a guy with pretty good speed who can get some infield hits, plus spray the ball around.
And usually a left-hand batter.
Yeah. Well, you look at the Red Sox, if you can believe it, I think there were 2 right-handed batters. They've won I don't know how many batting crowns at Fenway Park, and I think only 2 right-handed batters won batting crowns.
Connie Lansford, the last to do it.
81, and I believe a guy named Alexander might have done it way back.
Doyle Alexander?
No, he was pitching.
Oh, wow.
No, we don't give it to Doyle. Some guy named Alexander, but
Hugh Alexander.
That's it.
And he was a great hitter.
Right-handed hitter.
Right-handed batter.
But Ted Williams won it. Pete Reynolds.
Of course, Rogers Hornsby, the best of all the right-hand batters, and also a man who can hit .400 from the right-hand side. There's a ground ball to Wallach at third, and he has it. Watch out for those outside pitches. Now Greg Jeffries, the batter, hitting .309 for the year. And the fastball for ball one. Jeffries 5 for 11 in this series. He got the game-winning RBI in last night's game when he drove in the go-ahead run for the Mets in the 12th inning as they came from behind to win it. And ball two, 2-0. Jeffries with a 5-game hitting streak, batting .500 over the 5 games with 11 base hits. His average from the right-hand side and left-hand side just about the same as he fouls that ball away. Jeffries, in contrast to Howard Johnson. Johnson hitting so much better left-handed than he is right-handed. Two balls, one strike. And strike two, 2-2. Jeffries hitting .307 right-handed and .309 left-handed. Johnson hitting .210 right-handed and .268 left-handed. And that pitch is fouled, so the count stays at 2-2. The Mets as a team hitting .264. They're tied for 4th as a team in the National League. They lead in home runs with 120.
Jeffries had a funny swing there. It could have been that the ball going from the sunshine into the shade.
You have all the makings of a pitching duel here with the difficulty of hitting. And look at that swing. That ball was over the top of the head. First batter will be Delino DeShields, and the first pitch a called strike. DeShields 2 for 10 in this series, hitting .293 for the year. The rookie with 2 home runs and 22 runs batted in. He's had 13 infield hits, and he hits this one on the ground to Mario Diaz to throw to first base for the out. 23, maybe 24.
I think he's going to be 26 on Friday.
That's right. His birthday's tomorrow.
He's getting old. Maybe that's why he needed the day off. Although last night he threw a ball, he bounced the ball to first base, so the shoulder might be acting up again.
And now the first pitch to Otis Nixon, and it's taken for a called strike. Nixon hitting .237. No home runs, 9 runs batted in. The Mets shorten up the guard against his bunting capabilities. He's had 4 bunt base hits. This one is bunted right at Viola. He throws over to Magadan for the out.
Yeah, with Otis Nixon, you got to bring the infield in. You almost have to play Nixon like you play wiffle ball. You can't really drive a wiffle ball. Nixon doesn't drive the baseball. You got to bring
7 runs batted in. And Raines takes a fastball for ball one. Raines in this series 3 for 9 with 3 stolen bases. He's had 11 infield hits, and that shows his speed. In his last 20 games, he's hit .300. And the fastball for ball two, 2-0.
He's batting in a position he really shouldn't bat in. He's
more of a leadoff batter.
He's a leadoff hitter. He's much more productive as a leadoff hitter. You can move the shield to number 2, but they want Raines to drive in runs, and he's really struggling.
An outstanding stolen baseman as he takes that pitch for ball 3, 3-1. Raines with a total of 618 stolen bases, 9th on the all-time stolen base list. He's had 33 this year. He's tied for the club lead with Otis Nixon, who has 33. And the 3-1 pitch hit to Diaz, a quick throw to first, and Montreal also goes in order. In this series, 0 for 4 did not start in yesterday's ball game. Did appear as a pinch hitter and grounded into a force play. And he goes after the fastball and fouls it back out of play. Strawberry hitting .282, tied for the league lead in home runs with 25. He has driven in 67. He's in the top 10 in that department.
The only thing that drives you nuts watching Darryl is he can get so hot, and then he can get so cold. Of course, that goes with that big swing and big kick. It's just you're going to have problems when you have so much action when you're at the plate.
And the fastball for a ball. It's 1-1. Strawberry with a great month going for him. In June, he had an 18-game hitting streak, batting .412 over the 18 games with 9 home runs, 24 runs batted in.
He's got to get rid of the shoes, Ralph.
Batted .402 for the entire month of June with 10 home runs and 27 RBIs, wearing those high top shoes.
I don't like them. Bad luck. Jeffries has a pair now.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Eric Davis, of course, Strawberry's buddy, also with the high top shoes, playing on that artificial turf.
Barry Larkin has a pair. We were talking about digging in at the plate. Rusty said how he liked to have a grip on that ground, and with those shoes you don't get it. Kevin McReynolds is struggling on artificial turf because he won't wear the spike shoe because of his leg.
He missed an entire year because of a knee operation. That was when he first signed.
He was signed when he was in a hospital by the Padres. Talking about McReynolds.
And this ball grounded foul. Strawberry has done very well against Montreal in his major league career. A lifetime average of .311. Make that .318. And he's hit 29 home runs against Montreal in his career. And the 3-2 curveball hit hard to right field, but right there is the right fielder Grissom. And Strawberry 4 for 4 day, and also had a 5th at bat when he got a sacrifice fly and drove in a run. Was 3 for 6 in last night's ball game, and got a big base hit that gave the Mets the insurance run in the 12th inning, as they won it 6-4. They lost the opening game 7-4. And the first pitch, a fastball. McReynolds too has hit well against Montreal. He's got a lifetime average of .311 with 22 home runs. And the strike call, 1-1. Although McReynolds has hit very well in his last 16 games, he's hit .379. He's had only 1 home run in his last 38 games. So the average is up, but the home run production is down. And the fastball for ball 2, 2-1.
They say when you're a home run hitter, Mr. Cannon, you know a lot more about this than I do. I was talking to Hal McRae today. We were talking about how important the legs are, the hips, the lower back in driving a ball. It was interesting talking to McRae because he's a disciple of the late Charlie Lau, and Charlie didn't really talk much about hip movement in the home run.
This ball fouled away. Of course, the old theories of hitting, as you look at a fine hitter.
Yeah, my old teammate Hal McRae, I got a lot of respect for him. He was an interesting character.
The old theory is get your hips out of the way so your hands can get through.
Well, let's watch these hips. So Kevin Moore, he kind of slaps at that ball. Doesn't look like he's really that aggressive at the plate. Maybe losing a little confidence in driving the ball.
And the 2-2 pitch, a sidearm fastball, and
What I need is I have to just look at my wife and 3 kids. That's motivation.
get some more money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Mackey Sasser the batter, and he takes the fastball for a strike. Sasser hitting .339. He has 6 home runs, 34 runs batted in. 1 for 6 in this series. Over his last 31 at bats, he's had 12 hits, hitting .387. And he's driven in 13 runs in his last 10 games, and he takes another strike. Boy, you don't see that happen very often. Sasser taking 2 fastballs.
Probably didn't get any sleep last night. Either that or tough to see because he comes out swinging, smoking.
Now for the hitters, a break as the sun goes behind one of the clouds up above. No shadows to worry about. The fastball outside. 1-2. Good movement on that fastball.
Funny, most players are acclimated to night baseball because they grow up in the minor leagues. All the games in the minor leagues, I guess, are at night now. A lot of them even play Sunday night games.
And he holds up. And a good call. Montreal, he's had his problems hitting .191 with no home runs. Mets in first place by 1. They lead Montreal by 6. Curveball chopped out, foul.
And even looking at Mackey swing the bat right there, that's not Mackey Sasser swinging.
It's got to be very difficult to see the ball. When it's difficult to see the ball, I found personally that the difficulty is in the change of speeds, not so much the fastball, but in the change of the speeds with the changeup being very effective. And that fastball has popped up in foul territory. Tim Wallach, the third baseman, foul. So a deep drive in foul territory, and Wallach with a count of 1-1.
Well, Wallach has 17 home runs. You got to watch it, boy. He likes that ball down there. He turns on that ball and hit the ball too hard.
Wallach hitting .311 against the Mets this year, but he has not driven in a run. And a ground ball to the shortstop, Mario Diaz, and Diaz gets his third assist in this game.
The only way somebody will hit the changeup over the fence, and it doesn't happen that often, is when Frank Viola will hang that changeup, and he doesn't do that often. But that's the pitch you can hit out. But it's still not that easy because you have to supply your own power.
He has given up 6 home runs, and he's made 7 wild pitches, and he likes to keep that changeup down in the dirt.
Yeah, to be effective, you got to throw a changeup down, and the catcher's got to understand that he's going to spend a lot of time down in that dirt blocking the ball. Problem with blocking the changeup as opposed to the curveball, it's like the fastball. You can't predict the high.
Now the batter is Andres Galarraga, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. 4 for 10 in this series with 2 home runs. One of them an inside the park home run. And a pitch back, a strike.
A guy like Wallach should feel comfortable against a guy like Frank Viola because Wallach is a dead low ball hitter. He likes the ball down there, and Frank's bread and butter is down low.
And that pitch a ball. Galarraga 4 for 10 in this series, hitting .261 in the year with 13 home runs, 58 RBIs. He's hit 7 home runs in his last 18 games. Goes after the changeup, fooled badly by it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right here's a look at what you would see if you were the hitter. See how that ball sort of disappears. It's dark when it comes out of that bright sunlight.
Good changeup right there from Viola.
And back with a fastball. He thought he had that when the strike zone.
You got to keep in mind the umpire also will have to really concentrate. He won't pick it up that easily. It's a good pitch.
That ball's a strike. Now the 3-2 pitch, and it's popped up in foul territory. Magging over, and he will not be able to make the play. The umpires in this game, Bob Davison behind home plate. Charlie Rutherford is the umpire at first base. Charlie Williams the umpire at second. And John McSherry, who is ahead of this crew, the umpire at third. Bob Davison, the man who calls the most balks in the National League. As you look at Bud Harrelson, Bud with the record since taking over as manager, 39-19. And there's that changeup, and this time Galarraga doesn't even touch it. That's his 104th strikeout. He's on his way to leading the league for the 3rd consecutive year in strikeout.
And there's the changeup. Did you ever think, well, when you think of a changeup, you don't think of it as a strikeout pitch. Yet Frank Viola, as Ralph just mentioned, one of the better strikeout pitchers in the National League, and his strikeout pitch is his changeup or setting up the fastball with the changeup.
That's his 108th strikeout. He started the game tied for 7th in strikeouts in the National League, and his first pitch now to Marquise Grissom in there for strike 1. Grissom hitting .258, 1 home run, 16 runs batted in. Fastball for strike 2. Grissom 1 for 6 in this series. He's had 11 infield hits. The Expos very high on his talent. There again, that inside fastball not called a strike. So Viola, who likes to throw fastballs on the inside part of the plate, not getting any help from Davidson. Back again, and again it's close. Two and two the count. And the changeup hit on the ground to Jeffries. He'll have to hurry. He gets it over there in time. Jeffries with 10 assists in last night's ball game. Gets his first in this one, and Viola has retired his first this series. His 1 base hit, a bunt base hit. Dennis Martinez, and the fastball for ball 1. And this ball looped into left center field for a base hit. Otis Nixon cuts it off, and that's the first base runner in the game.
Darrell Boston on first base, a guy in this ball, and them going back on the ball.
Bobby Winkles, former coach of Arizona State University, one of the most successful college coaches in the history of college baseball.
You know, he told me Whitey Herzog and some of the scouts used to go out to Arizona to scout the players, and they would go out and work with the outfielders. And he said Whitey Herzog was one who came up with the theory that you should catch the ball when you're charging as an outfielder. Catch the ball off your glove foot. For example, if you're right-handed and you have your glove in your left hand, you catch it off the left foot. Andy Van Slyke gave us a great example. He said Whitey Herzog came up with that idea.
Never heard of that. Mario Diaz, the batter, with a 1-0 count, and he pops one down the right field side, off and running is Grissom, and he'll get to it, and he makes the play. Austin back to was used as a pinch hitter, and he became the first Met pitcher to pinch hit and get a base hit, and that's in their history. And this ball bunted perfectly, a perfect bunt, fielded by Galarraga, and he throws to Shields, covering it first for the out. Boston down at second in scoring position.
Well, if anything in this ball game, pitchers are going to have to execute the sacrifice bunt, because this might go a long time without a run. Perfect bunt by Frankie V. And Galarraga making the play.
That'll bring up Howard Johnson. Johnson popped up to the shortstop his first time up.
Talking about David Cohn, keep in mind David Cohn probably did not bat in pro ball till he got to the National League because of the DH in the minor leagues and of course the DH in the American League. Turned into a pretty good hitting pitcher.
Led the National League in hits by pitchers last year with 18. And the first pitch to Johnson, a ball. That was the first time he's ever pinch hit. So he's hitting 1,000 as a pinch hitter, and the first Mets pitcher to pinch hit and get a base hit.
I'm surprised.
I am too. The Mets have had some outstanding hitters. Don Cardwell was an outstanding hitter.
He's talking hitting right there, Ralph.
He's telling them how it's done. There's the 1-0 pitch, and it's grounded foul. 1-1.
That was Jerry Kuzman, Tom Seaver.
Seaver was a good hitting pitcher. Of course, Doc ridden. In fact, we were kidding about Doc was bypassed as a pinch hitter in that game last night.
Sid Fernandez has been known to do the job with the bat in his hand.
I think Cardwell was the best of all the Mets pitchers as a hitter. Had good home run power.
I think it's hot. Look at the, what is that coming off the carpet out there? The
heat waves. Huh? 1-1 the count to Johnson. And the fastball missed. 2 days ago, Don Robertson of the San Francisco Giants won a game as a pinch hitter. And then yesterday, he was the winning pitcher in the ball game over the Dodgers. He's an outstanding hitter as a pitcher. I've heard a lot of people say that Don Larson was the best hitting pitcher that ever hit the scene in the major leagues. Of course, the most home runs ever hit by a pitcher, 38 in a career, by Wes Ferrell.
It's pretty good.
Of course, Babe Ruth you think of as a everyday player, but he was a great pitcher.
Pitchers usually aren't that proficient in hitting because a lot of them don't get the opportunity to hit. But as soon as you get in pro ball and you're a pitcher, they tell you you're not going to be able to hit. It's amazing, and you believe it. Pitchers don't steal bases. I think the record for stolen bases by a pitcher is held by Bob Gibson. It might be around 13.
He was a great athlete and good hitting pitcher. Bob Lemon, of course, an outstanding hitting pitcher. Started his career as an infielder, outfielder.
In fact, he was in the outfield when Bob Feller threw a no-hitter against the Yankees. Then he became a pitcher. Fine pitcher.
Wes Ferrell, who had 38 home runs, also played in the outfield, as did Don Larson.
How about Musial and Ted Williams?
Both started and pitched. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Howard Johnson. That's with a runner at second. No score in the game. 2 men out. Top of the third inning. Johnny Lindell, also a fine hitting pitcher and an outfielder. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and the Mets threaten but do not score. They have the only hit in the ball game, have left one, and the score at the end of 2.5 innings. The Mets nothing and Montreal nothing. So the 7th place hitters getting the first hit for each of their respective teams, and Fitzgerald on at first base with no one out. Fitzgerald hitting .233 with 7 home runs before the base hit. That'll bring up Spike Owen. 0-0 for 4 in this series, hitting .234 for the year with 5 home runs, 26 RBIs. And the first pitch by Viola inside for ball. Now keep in mind that Mike Fitzgerald has 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. He's one of the best in the National League on the delayed steal, and Mackey Sasser, the catcher for the Mets, always with that little flip back to the pitcher.
Well, the biggest thing, the way you execute a delayed steal, you really execute it against 3 guys: the catcher, second baseman, and shortstop. Because a lot of times you have a habit. See what Dave Maggin is doing? A lot of times an infielder has a habit of doing that, looking down after the pitch, and that's when you kind of get off the base, you skip a little bit, and then bang, you go, and nobody's covering second base.
And the pitch to the plate again, a fastball, and this one called a strike 1-1.
If you look at the infielders after the pitch, usually they have a habit. Some of them drop their heads to kick the dirt around. Now, it's not as prevalent on the artificial turf. I watched Howard Johnson. He did it after the last pitch. Dave Magadan did it after the last pitch. But to execute the delayed steal, you got to get the second baseman and the shortstop sleeping.
1 ball, 1 strike the count, and this ball hit up the middle, a base hit. Fitzgerald the second and holding there as Boston gets to it. And now back-to-back singles, and Montreal with their first scoring threat.
Well, best way to hit on the artificial turf. Watch this. Right back up the middle. You do that all the time, you're going to hit about 350 if you're playing this stuff.
The most proficient at that, and he won a batting title. The new manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, Joe Torre, had 230 hits, and he used to bounce that ball up the middle in St. Louis on the artificial turf.
He led the league in hitting, right?
Right.
Joe couldn't run a lick.
Absolutely true.
Oh, boy, he must have had some kind of year.
So now a bunting situation for Dennis Martinez, who is a good hitting pitcher. Mets have used the wheel play or the rotation play on bunts where runners at first and second. Martinez with 5 hits has driven in 6 runs, and there's a bunt. The play will go to third in time. The throw to first base, not in time, as Martinez bunts into a forced play.
Good play by Frank Viola. Viola charging the ball. It was a bad bunt. It was right back to Frank. Viola fires the ball to Johnson. They had a shot at double play because Martinez was not running hard at first. Probably disgusted with what he was watching. There's Viola, quick throw right on the money. And there's Hojo's throw, but not in time. Bad bunt by Martinez.
So the Mets pick up an out. Runner still at first and second base, and the batter is Delino DeShields. DeShields grounded out his first time up. And the first pitch outside for a ball. Frank Viola with the best winning percentage, and that ball hit hard to right. Strawberry overcuts it off. The throw in to second base and cut off by Jeffrey. And the Montreal Expos take the lead as DeShields comes through and drives in the first run of the game.
Well, DeShields, good hitting right here. Hanging tough with the left-hander, hitting a line drive in the right center field. Strawberry playing shallow, goes back, cuts it off. Owen scores easily. The throw to second base was cut off. There was a big roar here at Olympic Stadium. It's up to the shortstop to let the second baseman know to let it go through. And of course, Diaz was not really at second base. They did have a shot at DeShields. If Diaz is at second base and tells Jeffries let it go, they have a shot.
Had a shot at it, and Diaz, not thinking DeShields would go for 2, was surprised on the play. And the first pitch now to Otis Nixon, fouled away, strike 1.
I think what you have to do anytime you play a team that lives and dies on the artificial turf, you've got to be aware that you get better traction when you're running on the artificial turf, and most guys will try to take the extra base. This club leads the league in steals, so no, they're aggressive.
154 stolen bases, and Nixon takes a strike, and it's strike 2. Nixon tried to bunt his way on his first time up and was thrown out. Johnson even with the bag at third. Magadan at first is back. And the shortstop and second baseman also back. And a swing and a miss. Make that a foul ball. And the count stays at strike two. I wouldn't be a bit surprised that Nixon would push the ball even with a 2-strike count. Try to bunt, but he swings and misses. And that's a good strikeout for Frank Viola. Range with 37 runs batted in. Viola not taking the windup. And this ball popped up and is playable. Magadan, the first baseman, right there. And he makes the catch, and Viola gets out of it with only. Well, Magadan gets a Mets second base hit as he puts a good swing on the fastball and drives it into right center field. He went 0 for 6 in last night's ball game, and it was the first time this year that I can recall where he didn't hit the ball hard when he took an 0 for.
There's always somebody, it seems, that in one of those big scoring games, a lot of hits, somebody comes up with an 0 for. Jeffrey's high fly ball to right, just missed it though. Grissom is there. That'll be the first out. Magadan returns to first. Just got under it.
Jeffries had struck out on the high fastball that was over his head his first time up. This time he hits the high fastball to right. Ball this time right about belled high.
Brings up Strawberry with Fran Healy's favorite shoes.
The high top shoe.
Darrell takes a strike.
You're too young to remember the high top button hook shoes, aren't you?
Yes, I am. That was a little before my time. Ball inside. Did you play with those, Ralph? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't play with those.
You saw them.
Well, they were in vogue back a few years ago.
Did you wear those out after the game too, or what?
I couldn't tie my shoes, so I had to have button shoes.
Strawberry, a high fly, looks like it's out of play and is. Trying to get on track again. What a dominant 5 or 6 weeks he had. Just overmatched the National League. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Mets trailing 1-0. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Magadan a conservative lead at first. Fouled back again. The count will remain 1-2. Lots of kids out at the old yard today.
It's the biggest crowd of this 3-game series by far.
They had a special day where kids that were members of a certain club, I don't know exactly what the club was, got a chance to walk around the field and walk back out through the center field doorway. Kids got a big charge out of that. They had to have 7,500, we're told, exactly. I think somebody stayed home. He was sick though. Fastball outside, 2-2.
When's the first time you ever walked on a big league field?
First time I ever played in a ball game.
That was it.
That's it.
What a thrill that is, though, the first time you get on a big league ball field.
Opening day 1963. It was around the 7th or 8th of April, I believe. I had just turned 19. Ground ball foul. Turned 19 on April 1st, and about a week later they had me in the cleanup slot playing right field. I had to borrow an outfielder's glove. I was a first baseman when I came up, Ralph. I actually had to borrow the glove of the guy who was supposed to be my manager in Double-A, Lou Fitzgerald. I had to borrow his glove because I didn't own an outfielder's glove. I was a little shaky out there too in the beginning, pal. I want you to know it. Ground ball, a soft one. At second base, the Shields decides to take Strawberry. Magadan advances to second. They're 2 out. And Kevin McReynolds comes to the plate. McReynolds down on strikes his first time up. But as Ralph told you earlier, 7 for 10 in this series. Now 7 for 11. Maybe that's a good luck number. 7 for 11. You guys out on the West Coast understand all that stuff, right?
That is true.
Palm Springs, that's pretty close to where they roll that ivory around, huh?
Not far from Vegas. About a 35-minute plane ride, a 5-hour car ride.
We do have Atlantic City in the Northeast now.
How would you like to play for San Diego and get sent to Las Vegas for your minor league?
That's
days?
a test. That's a real test.
I mean, that's a character builder right there.
You can survive that, they'll bring you back up.
One time the Angels had their training in Palm Springs, and their #1 farm club was Hawaii. That wasn't too bad either.
I hear you. Dennis Martinez finally ready. Fastball inside. He's not the worst, but he's among them as far as speed on the mound. Being getaway day, everyone's aware of that.
For both teams.
Bet on it. That one catches the inside corner. 1-1.
Well, that's a pitch that Viola wasn't getting.
Mike Fitzgerald giving the signs to Dennis Martinez. Magadan leading off at second with 2 down. Just catches the outside corner this time. Good breaking ball by Dennis Martinez. A ball and 2 strikes.
This is a good curveball. A lot of movement, a lot of break on it, right on the outside corner.
Magadan's got to get a good lead. This is AstroTurf. 2 outs, 2 strikes. If it looks like a strike, or if he starts swinging, you should be taking off at second base. There it is, a little looper, but Spike Owen back quickly enough to snag it. McReynolds is out. The Mets strand 1. After 3.5, it's the Expos 1 and the Mets nothing.
Got the summertime blues? Toyota's got the cure.
Tim Wallach, Andres Galarraga, and Marquise Grissom. Viola to the plate. Ball 1. Tim Wallach, 46 at bats against the Mets. Nary an RBI, but he's had a lot of those, a lot of hits. Is he going to try for 2? No, he holds up. That's his 15th hit in 46 trips, or 47 trips now.
Well, he's a low ball hitter and Viola a low ball pitcher, and what do you do in a case like that? Rip Sewell, who was an outstanding pitcher in the major leagues, says, I'm a low ball pitcher, and if he's a low ball hitter, I pitch him lower.
Wallach, a fine season. Andres Galarraga went down on strikes to Viola his first time up. Take strike 1. Wallach has a few stolen bases, but he's been thrown out 4 times, so only 3 for 7. He's really not much of a threat. Swing and a miss by Galarraga. As Ralph mentioned, first time up, he struck out for the 104th time this year. Oh and 2 with a runner on first. Nobody out. out front, but he checks his swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's Wallach. In the early part of the season, he was doing a pretty good job not striking out. Things changed quickly. Line shot, hooking foul. Everybody was talking about Hal McRae and the conversations he was having in the abbreviated spring training and in the early part of the season with Andres Galarraga, and how good it was working. Something happened from the first trip and this one here, Ralph.
The wheels fell off.
Just inside. 2-2.
You know, when he puts the ball in play, in other words, doesn't strike out, over the last 3 years, he's hit .386. When he makes contact, he's dangerous.
Full count. We'll see if Wallach's on the road. Buck Rogers usually very aggressive on the bases. Signs from Tom Reynolds at third base. Taking a little bit better lead here. There he goes. Swing and a miss. Here's the throw from Sasser. Down. He's got. Oh, he calls him safe. The ball got there before the runner. I don't know if the tag was missed. Here comes Buddy Harrelson out to discuss it. Buddy ejected from last year's game.
Last night's game.
I mean, last night's game.
Seems like a year ago. That's a good changeup, and the second time Galarraga has struck out. The throw is ahead of the runner. It's a little high. It appeared that he did get in there. Let's take another shot from another angle. Good changeup. Sasser, a good release, but a little bit high with the throw.
He tags him high on the body. You saw Charlie Williams looking at the bag. The foot got to the bag with no glove visible. So a stolen base for Tim Wallach. That's how he has the rest of those stolen bases. Running on a full count or on a hit and run. So he's now 4-4. 1 down. And Marquise Grissom. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Grissom grounded to Jeffries his first time up. The infield playing deep, trying to keep this ball in the infield. The sun is still a factor. Ground ball foul. 0-2 on Grissom. Tim Wallach at second base, 300 career doubles. Way inside, pushes Grissom back off the plate. That's a lot of doubles, Ralph. How many you end up with, Ralph? You know?
I really don't know. I'd average about 20 to 25 a year.
Yeah. Ground ball to the right side again to Jeffries. He's got it. Grissom's out. Wallach moves on to third. And with 2 down, Mike Fitzgerald comes to the plate. Fitzgerald singled his first time up. Ball had got between third and short. That was his first hit of this series. He was 0 for 5 coming into this game. Fouled straight back. Strike 1. He's been a good extra base hitter. 22 of his 50 hits. Extra base hits. 1-1 count.
He started off his major league career with the Mets and hit a home run his first at bat.
And I was in Philadelphia, dead center field. He hit it.
Became the 48th. Hit a home run, his first major league at bat.
Swing and a miss, strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Saw him before the game, said he's been in a little bit of a slump. He was 4 for his last 28, but he said he is feeling much better. Evidently he was. He singled his first time up. Inside, 2-2. Viola with 3 strikeouts. Ground ball. Howard Johnson cuts it off. Here's the throw, and he gets Fitzgerald. Wallach stranded at third. Lead it off for the Mets. Top of the 5th inning. Mets down 1-0. Sassa to be followed by Boston and Mario Diaz. Kevin Elster, another day off. They're holding the game up a little bit. Tim Raines had some foreign article of some kind on the field. He went and there it's going over. Sasser fouled out to the third baseman his first time up. Takes a hack at it, grounds it foul. What a glorious day for baseball, Ralph. Just perfect except for the shadows.
No humidity and just perfect day, but of course those shadows do make it tough.
Ground ball to first. Is it fair? Nope, it's foul. 0-2 on Sasser. Well, the Mets have 22 come from behind wins. An awfully big one last night. They'll have to do it again at the Big O today. Fouled out of play. Still 0-2. One of the things they've done a little different here is they have the on deck logos very close to home plate now.
You'd like
it's
that,
almost dangerous. I mean, I like it because you can get up there and take a look at the pitcher.
That's right.
But Darryl Boston has to really be careful. You see how close Darryl Boston is? He's closer than the pitcher. Fastball up and in, 1-2.
Yeah, but it's worth it to get that good look if you're that type of person who wants to see what's coming up there.
He used to be pushing me back to those.
I never was in the on-deck circle. I was always trying to get over there as far over to the right. Early Wynn one time did something I've never seen before. A batter was trying to get some good viewing of his pitching. He threw the ball right at him. He wasn't in the on-deck circle.
Understood. Line drive, base hit to center field. Mackey didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it. I can remember one time when I was pinch hitting. Davey Johnson had pinch hit for me a couple of times when left-handers came in. They brought Tug McGraw in to pitch with the Phillies, and I moved away from the dugout, kind of saying, please let me face Tug. Well, Tug sees me up near where the line is going down to first base, relatively close. We'll check this pitch. It's a strike. He threw the ball and hit me. At least he threw a curveball. He threw a curveball and hit me in the leg, and I looked at him and I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, I'm supposed to get mad if somebody does that, right? I was laughing. I had to go in and get a towel and wipe my eyes off. I was laughing so hard.
He couldn't get mad at Tug.
I got even though.
Don't get mad, get even.
I got a double, drove in 3 runs, and I never let him forget it. It was great to see Tug on the trip to Philadelphia, doing a fine job broadcasting in Philly. 1-1 to Darryl Boston. The bat breaks, the ball goes to the second baseman, over to Spike Owen, and they get the double play. Boston a little trouble getting out of the box. What a weird play that was. The bat's all the way out at second base.
The bat almost hit Sasser. And now comes that the second baseman just shields, but they still continue and execute perfectly to get the double play. Watch the bat. It almost hits Sasser right there, and then almost hits the shield.
Sasser going right in at the bag. Good play by Spike Owen. He avoided the slide completely. Mario Diaz takes strike one. Diaz flew out to right. His second at bat. Curveball away, 1-1. Ground ball again to DeShields. DeShields to Galarraga. The double play ruins the threat. That ends the inning. And on the budget scoreboard, it's Montreal 1 and New York nothing. Well, with a new young Expo fan playing with her mom, we will go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 1-0 the Expos. Spike Owens, followed by Dennis Martinez and Delino DeShields. Owens singled and scored the run. He came in on an RBI single, or actually a double by Delino DeShields. Showing very good speed, as a matter of fact. Turned a single into a double. Strike. He gets that inside corner that time, Ralph.
He's not been getting that call from Bob Davidson. He loves to pitch that fastball right in there. And then go outside with a changeup.
Spike Owen wasn't real happy with it either. Long conversation with Bob Davidson behind the plate. Swing and a miss, strike two. Both Magadan and Johnson moved back in their respective positions. Here comes Viola. Inside, 1-2. Viola last time out a 8-inning stint. That makes it 2-2. Defeat over the St. Louis Cardinals, a 10-1 victory. Looked very good. Only gave up 3 hits in those 8 innings. 1 run. Ground ball foul. He's given up 1 run to the Expos, 1 run on 4 hits. The Mets no runs on 3 hits. Expos have yet to beat Viola. 3-0 against this team. Two of those games this year. Fouled out of play. Still 2-2. Expos have lost 4 of their last 5 games. 11 of their last 16. Hard shot by Howard Johnson at third. Owen going to second base. And he's in there with a leadoff double.
Third inning in a row that the leadoff batter has gotten on base. And this ball just by Howard Johnson. And that will bring up the pitcher, Dennis Martinez.
With nobody out, Magadan will come in. The bunt play is in order. Conversation going on between Tom Reynolds, the third base coach, and Dennis Martinez. On AstroTurf, if they use the rotation play, you just can't bunt into it. There's not a force play, so it's a little different situation than if it was men on first and second. We'll see what happens.
Martinez bunted into a forced play his first time up.
He's bunting again. This time he fouls it off. Strike one. Howard Johnson getting the signs from the bench, now giving the signs to the infielders. Martinez with a strike. He's bunting. Gets it down. It's a good bunt this time. Viola to first base. He and Magadan got a little confused together, but it didn't hamper the play at all. Good sacrifice. Spike going now on third base with one out.
This is the 8th sacrifice bunt by Martinez, and it puts a runner at third with one man out. So the well-executed bunt, and the Mets will now bring their infield in for a play at the plate.
Again, you're on AstroTurf. You don't have to come in as much when you're on AstroTurf. Spike Owen at third does not have great speed. Delano to Shields at the plate does. He also has the only RBI in this game. Ball down. Outfield shifted a little bit toward left field. That's the way to play him. The sun just crossing the pitcher now. I should say the shade is. On the outside corner, 1-1. Buck Rogers will use the squeeze play. You'd think he'd do it only if the batter was ahead in the count and the strike had to be thrown. But you never know. Here comes the runner, and he does try the squeeze play. Sometimes you just feel like it, you know. It's one of these crazy things. The old Buckaroo trying to squeeze him in.
Well, it's a suicide squeeze as a runner has to go full tilt. It's up to the batter to protect him. At least get the piece of the bat on the ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swing and a miss. Even though it was a foul tip, Sasser held on to the ball. Another big strikeout for Frank Viola. That's number 4, but 2 of them have come at the right time.
Struck out Galarraga with a runner at third base in the 4th inning. And now another strikeout here, so that takes off the runner scoring on an out. Brings up Otis Nixon.
Nixon out on a bunt and a strikeout, and a swing and a miss, strike 1.
And that strikeout when Nixon struck out in the 3rd came with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out.
Jeffries has shortened a little bit at 2nd. That's the way to do it. Otis Nixon, if he would decide to push the ball to first base, if he gets Magadan to field it, he's going to beat Viola to first base. It's just that simple. So Jeffries, if it's a ball bunted fairly firmly, is going to have to make the play and feed it to Magadan. He tries it, but it's a foul ball. He's got to use that play. I mean, that's his one weapon.
I thought he should have used it the last time he was up, but he didn't. And he struck out.
Especially with a left-hander on the mound, the second baseman is the key. He's the one that's got to shorten up. Now there are 2 strikes, no balls, 2 down, and everybody's back. Does he have the guts to do it then, Ralph?
I think so.
We'll find out.
He's had 4 bunt base hits.
There's a ball. One and 2 on Otis Nixon. Now Strawberry in a little bit in right. Ground ball. Howard Johnson has it. The throw to first. Mets get out of the jam. They strand Owen at third. After 5 shade, leading off the 6th inning. Dennis Martinez delivers. Frankie a little looper to center. Nixon right there. 1 down. Viola and Dennis Martinez, a little humor between them. Viola hit that ball decently. Fans would like to remind you that New York Met Baseball is being brought to you by Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. Howard Johnson, with 15 home runs, also has some power. Fans would like to see some of it. Fouled out of play, strike one.
Should be a little easier on the batters now, as that shadow has moved beyond the pitcher's mound, and the pitcher will be throwing in the shadow. The ball will not be coming out of the sunlight into the shadow, and should be able to pick it up a little bit better.
The further that moves, the better it comes, the better it is to see for the hitter. Breaking ball, Howard right back through the middle. He saw that one. I don't know if Dennis Martinez saw it very good coming back at it.
Howard had struck out on a curveball in the third inning. Now he hits the curveball right back to the middle. Martinez getting that glove up too late.
He got the glove up and the body out of the way, didn't he? Dave Magadan is grounded to third and single to right center.
And Johnson a threat to steal.
Hojo, 24 stolen bases in 29 attempts. Magadan takes the ball. Pretty good hole between first and second. You see the signs being given by Chuck Hiller. With Magadan, if he's thinking correctly, he should try to pull the ball if there's a hit and run. Most infielders with him at the plate are going to let the shortstop stay there, have the second baseman cover. Toss over to first by Martinez. It's always a little guessing game. You see
the way they're set up right now, Rusty, the second baseman has to cover second.
He's awfully close. That gives you an indication. If you pay attention to things like that, it can help you. I mean, a gigantic hole, really a big hole. A fake Magadan down the left field line, but just foul. Howard Johnson a little bluff that time. Sometimes you got to be a little careful. You run that bluff out there a lot, and you get the attention of the hitter.
I never liked to have anybody moving when I was hitting.
Well, Ralph, the way you hit, they shouldn't have been running. They should have been waiting for you to hit that ball over the wall.
But even bluffs and that sort of thing.
Put an anchor on it, huh?
Yeah, it takes your concentration away from that pitcher and the ball.
Close at first. Galarraga having to jump over Howard. Here's a look.
Galarraga, the Gold Glove first baseman last year, after so many years that Keith Hernandez was the Gold Glove first baseman. He didn't have the best fielding percentage, but he certainly has good range and has good hands.
Magadan takes strike two, a ball and 2 strikes.
There was a good pitch that he could have pulled. Curveball.
Glenn Davis at Houston had a fine year. Here's a look at that pitch.
Magadan thought that pitch was low.
Well, he's got himself in his normal situation, a ball and 2 strikes. Still 1 out. Johnson leading at first. 2-2. Now we'll see if Buddy Harrelson has a little activity on the bases.
Montreal has thrown out only 21% of the base runners attempting to steal this year. 30 out of 147.
The Mets 77 stolen bases. They've been caught 21 times. Howard, that foot is not on the turf, diving back in. Martinez does have a good quick move over to first base. On the other hand, the Mets have given up 140 stolen bases, and they have thrown out 38.
Their percentage of throwing out base runners 20%. The Mets have been very good in success on the stolen bases. They've been successful 78% of the time. That's a good ratio.
Mackey Sasser has done a much better job behind the plate, particularly of late. 2-2. There goes Howard Johnson. The throw from Fitzgerald is up the line, and Howard Johnson has his 25th stolen base.
And that puts the tying run at second with one out. Johnson getting off to a pretty good jump. Fitzgerald's throw is not accurate enough for the second baseman to get into position to make the tag. There you see it from that angle. Good job by Howard Johnson.
Now a full count with Magadan at the plate and one out. First base is open. Middle of the lineup coming up with Jeffrey, Strawberry, and McReynolds. Swing and a miss. He gets Magadan on a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Dennis Martinez.
And he goes to the curveball. It's out of the strike zone. You don't see Magadan swinging too many pitches out of the strike zone. That will bring up Greg Jeffries. The Mets used the stolen base in the 12th inning last night to set up their 2 runs that won the ball game, with Jeffries driving in the go-ahead run in the 12th inning.
He then stole second, and McReynolds drove him in. Conversation between Fitzgerald and Martinez. They know Jeffries is hot and Strawberry's not. Greg 0 for 2 so far today. Again, Martinez taking a lot of time. It's kind of redundant. Martinez and a lot of time. Breaking ball, strike 1. Montreal infield very deep, trying to cut this ball off. Lionel DeShields about 3 strides behind the line. He's heading out to it right. Inside, 1-1. Martinez has really mixed his pitches up well today, keeping the Met hitters off balance. Lots of breaking balls and then good fastballs inside. Some balls, some strikes.
2 of his strikeouts on 3-2 pitches, and they've been curveballs.
Another one. Jeffries fouls this one. A ball and 2 strikes. Howard Johnson at second base. Howard singled up the middle and then stole second. Jeffries behind in the count, trying to get the tough RBI. Mets trailing by 1. Off-speed pitch fouled off. Still 1-2. Get a chance to see Joe Torre in St. Louis there, Ralph.
He'll take over as manager of the Cardinals tomorrow night when the Mets play the St. Louis Cardinals. Joe back in the harness again.
He's going to have his hands full too.
Cardinals 15 games out of first place, and a bunch of players in their walk year, a bunch of players that they will or will not sign. I think it's down to 9 now.
Pulled foul into the Expo dugout. Still 1-2. Pendleton at third. He's one of them.
McGee,
Vince Coleman is the guy that surprises me a little bit. I know they have not been happy with him. He's never been one of Whitey's favorites. having a fine season with the speed he has. Hard to believe they don't want to keep him.
Leading the major leagues in stolen bases with 56 and batting at 300. But big salary numbers.
Yep. Again, that's a redundancy. Slaps it down the third baseline. That was that tailing fastball Martinez throws. Good job after all those pitches inside by Martinez to Jeffries. He was able to slap that one. I think he's almost ready now. Here we go. Ball hit high and deep to right. Up against the wall. He did not catch it. The score is tied. Johnson touches home. Jeffries into third with a triple. Marquise Grissom went up against the wall but didn't hold on to the ball. So a game-tying triple by Jeffries.
Well, Jeffries taking this fastball and hitting it high in the air to right. Grissom going as high as he can go. It's over the top of his glove, and Jeffries ends up at third with a triple and a 3-base hit. His 49th RBI, and there's a big one. Jeffries thought it might go, as you can see there, running maybe about 95%. Now he turns it on, and he'll make a 3-base hit.
The straw man at the plate with 2 down. Strike 1.
Jeffries with his second triple of the year. He is second in the league in 2 base hits to Wally.
Fouled out of play. 0-2. Wallach with 28 doubles. Jeffries with 27. Wallach year in year out is one of those guys that is always up in the leaderboard in doubles. This AstroTurf field certainly helps that. As Tim.
.42 doubles last year to lead the National League.
0-2 is a ball. Jeffries has to be on his toes. Although Dennis Martinez has only 1 wild pitch, you have to be ready, especially on an 0-2 count. And you know that pitcher doesn't want to throw a strike.
Trying to get you to go after a bad pitch.
Strawberry up the middle, base hit. Mets take the lead 2-1. Good hitting by Strawberry.
Strawberry's 68th RBI, and he just puts a bat in the ball and hits it hard enough to get by the second baseman DeShields. And Jeffrey scores easily from third base. So the Mets now leading by a score of 2-1. McReynolds the batter.
Straw with the lead at first. Strike called on a attempted check swing. Well, Fran will be glad to know that Strawberry at least got a hit with those shoes on. I'm sure Strawberry's pleased himself. McReynolds 1-1.
Strawberry had been 0 for 6 in this series before that base hit, and it's a big one.
He's had a bunch of big ones this year for the Mets, especially this last couple of months. Decent lead. Not going. Swing and a miss. That's 2 pretty weak swings. That you know, it looks like you can see the ball better now. Looked like he didn't pick either one of those balls up, Ralph.
Both of them were breaking balls, and McReynolds looked like he was geared for the fastball. Making that early move. Getting those shoulders and hips open too soon, and then unable to do anything with it.
All right. Pitcher in the shadows. It's much easier for the hitter. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Martinez just hitting it. Mets will strand Strawberry at first, but they've scored 2 runs and taken the lead here. They now lead 2-1. By Jeffries and Strawberry. Strike on the outside. Rains a ground out to short, and he has popped up to Magadan. Off-speed pitch, strike 2. He's starting to give Viola a little more of that corner. Rains unhappy with it.
One of the few curveballs that Viola has thrown in this game. It's a big slop drop going through the strike zone, and Rains thought the pitch might have been low, I would have to guess.
Swing and a miss. He gets him. Pulled a little string on him. All straight back, 1-1. Wallach has been a Expo for a long time now.
Has never been on the DL.
Sometimes he's played through some really tough injuries. Ground ball hits the mound. Diaz has it. So does Magadan. 1 out. Has had 18 RBIs in his last 18 games.
1988, Galarraga was the first player in the history of Major League Baseball to lead the league in hits and also in strikeouts.
Hit 300 that season.
302.
Hard ground ball, foul at third. A little Sports Channel sign. Ball. Viola gets him for the 3rd time. He doesn't like the call, but it's going to do
Single
it.
to center field. A little dark down there in the field. And the first pitch here in the 7th inning is pulled foul.
You know, I've played in this ballpark. I played the second half of 1980 here with the Expos, or 79, and then against them at different times when I was with the Mets. It's not as tough as it's made out to be to see the ball. I never really thought it was that bad. Every once in a while you might have a day where it seems like it's tough, but this should be no factor at all right now. The shade or the sun.
And there's a fly ball down the right field line, and it's fair. Extra bases for Mackey Sasser. He cruises into second base with a stand-up double. And here's Darrell Boston. Boston 1 for 2. He also hit into a double play. Time is called. They're going to talk about the side. Driving the run.
And he knocks it right by the third baseman.
Ground ball, base hit in left field, and Sasser goes to third. So now runners on the corners with nobody out here in the 7th inning.
He broke one of his own Cardinal baseball rules, and that is the
Batter now, Mario Diaz. He's 0 for 2. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Mets have scored. They scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th to take the lead. The Expos scored their run in the bottom of the 3rd. It's 2-1 Mets. 8 hits for New York, 5 for Montreal.
Buddy Harrelson showing a lot of confidence in Mario Diaz hitting in this situation.
Here goes Boston. And a one-hopper to third base. So Wallach will get one. The runner moves to second base. So really a break. There's when David Cohn goes up to hit ahead of him. Breaking ball to Viola down low. 1-0. Viola, by the way, his last time up, hit a ball on the nose to center field. He's 0 for 1. He had to sacrifice his first time up.
He does have 3 RBIs on the season. He's got to try to make some contact. That's the key. Give himself a chance.
Infield in. Way inside. 2-0.
And this has to be the shallow. Do it again as long as he lives.
He'll play on a warning track. 2-0 on Viola.
This is uncharted territory for him.
There's a strike. 2-1. One man down on a beautiful afternoon. 2-1 pitch. That's a bad swing right there from Frank Viola. But that 2-2 on Viola. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down.
Make an adjustment once.
2 men down. See if Hojo adjusts. He takes ball 1. Howard Johnson this ball game 1 for 3. Scored a run, has a stolen base.
He did adjust last time up, hit a breaking ball for a base hit, went right back through the middle.
And the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. This takes a lot of time out there. Spends a lot of time on the field. We saw the runners. Sasser on third. Darrell Boston on second base. Curveball. Hojo unable to hold up. It's now 2-1. Like Hojo said, I'm going to swing at this because it's going to be a fastball.
Absolutely, Fran. That's exactly what it is. And with first base open, if there's ever time you're going to guess breaking ball, that was it. Go against the grain sometimes with these very good pitchers and you have a better chance.
If a pitcher can get the breaking ball over when behind on the count, he's going to be tough. We saw Martinez strike Viola out on breaking balls. He knows Hojo's a good fastball hitter. What will he get? Let's see. Breaking ball. Pops it up. This is a can of corn for Owen. And that'll do it for the Mets. Throws a fastball for a strike. 0-1. Buck Rogers talking about Grissom before the ball game. He said with the young kid, he doesn't want him to drown in the big leagues. He wants to help him swim, get him going. Down low, 1-1.
They do have an Olympic pool here.
Grissom batting .258, 1 home run, 16 RBIs. And a 1-1 pitch. Way inside. 2-1. Talking to Ralph Kiner on the opening of this game. Wondering if the philosophy of some of the ball clubs in the major leagues will change rather than going out paying big money, giving long-term contracts to guys in their walking years. Will they take a page from the Expo book and say, let's take a young kid in the big leagues and groom him? Here's a ground ball to third. Hojo to first. Scored 5-3.
Is Mark Langston. 4-13 with the California Angels.
Mike Fitzgerald, the batter, takes outside, ball 1. And Langston, of course, was offered the moon here in Montreal. Instead, he wanted the moon and the stars in Southern California.
Good line.
There's a strike, 1-1. Of course, Mark Langston's wife, I believe, wanted to be an actress. 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. So Mark had the opportunity to go out there around the Hollywood area.
I hope she's having a better year than he is. Otherwise, she hasn't got a bit part yet.
The lure of Hollywood. 2-1 pitch. Pulled foul. 2-2. Of course, Rusty, you like it out there in California. You're going to go to wine country, I understand, next time out there. I might go up there with you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go there and you try to find me.
Fly ball down the right field line. Straws over there. Foul territory, makes the grab. 2 down. How long did that wine last in that glass? I got to tell you, that was a great article we talked about the past 2 days. The one thing where your credibility was shot, because I have had dinner with you. You said you let the dessert tray usually go by. You and I have been known to wrestle the waiter to the ground with the dessert tray.
Not true. Very limited dessert eater.
You gotta be kidding.
Unless there's a little ice cream around. That doesn't count.
Batter Spike Owen, he's 2 for 2. I never let the dessert tray go by. When I read that article, I said, whoa, wait a minute. But you're usually a man of your word, so I'm going to go with you all the way.
Thanks.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-1, the Mets on top of the Expos. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. On a Van Gogh day here in Montreal. Down low, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Strike 3-1. If Spike Owen reaches first base, we're going to see a pinch hitter. That could work in the favor of the Mets. Get Martinez out of the ball game. Ball 4. Ball up. They should have taken him out for a pinch hit. Took him down. He's out. And that'll do it for the Expos. Here at the bottom of the seventh. Try to keep up with it. 1 for 3. Magadan. First pitch from Martinez. Fakes inside. 1-0. Magadan will be followed by Greg Jeffries and then Darryl Strawberry.
Mets missed a grand opportunity to get some insurance runs in the last inning. See what happens here.
And the 1-0 pitch is foul out of play. 1-1 pitch. Down low. 2-1. I think that if the game is like 2-1, I'm sorry, 3-1, 2-run difference, you'll do it. But a 1-run difference, the Mets aren't really hammering Martinez. I don't know. I'd be a hunch manager too. I'd play a lot of hunches. Here's a 2-1 pitch. There's a drive in the gap, left center field. It's extra bases. And Magadan will cruise into second base with a double. By Greg Jeffries in the 6th inning, slapped the ball off the right field wall, driving in Howard Johnson to tie the ball game up. Now he takes the strike. There's nobody out. Third hitter, a good major league hitter. I don't want him pulling the ball to get the runner over.
I want him to try to pull the ball with authority. First 2 strikes.
I want him to get a hit.
I do too.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Up high. 1-1. On deck, Darryl Strawberry.
It's a 1-run ball game. Jeffries has to be thinking pulling till 2 strikes.
Don't put pressure on him. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He slaps the ball to short. Owen goes to first. They get him by a step. Runner remains at second.
Absolutely not.
Why? There's only 1 out.
Well, you're not going to, if you get an out, the man on third is not going to score on a fly ball, Francis.
He can score in a wild pitch. Pass ball.
There's there are some advantages to being on third, but the reason why they tell you never to be thrown out or the third out at third base because it's not that much of an advantage to be in on third than there is to be in on second with 2 down.
Okay. It's 1-0 on Strawberry. 1 man down. Magadan on second base. This man's asking for a lot of money because he's supposed to drive in a lot of runs. Let's see what happens.
Went back through the middle the last time and drove in the go-ahead run.
One 1-0 pitch. Good breaking ball right there.
With a strike. 1 ball, no strikes.
See, you did it, and you can name a few. You can name some other guys that did it. There are other hitters that go to the plate and just look for the ball. I think this guy's one. Darryl Strawberry. I think Greg Jeffries is that type because he's so young right now. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And there's a fly ball deep center field. That ball is way back. Home run, Darryl Strawberry.
Ball went over the speakers.
Did he smoke?
Runs 3 and 4 cross. Now, should he have pinch hit? But Dennis Martinez.
That's right. Plus, you know what? I think those shoes Strawberry's wearing, they're good luck. And here's Kevin McReynolds. Oh, shake up a pitcher. First ball is outside. Ball 1. Martinez had been pitching a fine ball game. 26th home run of the season for Darryl Strawberry. A 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1-1.
This will drive in his 69th and 70th RBIs. He already had an RBI in this game. You see Nixon. This one goes over those speakers.
Pulled foul. 1-2.
That home run, as those speakers we were talking about, that home run puts Darryl Strawberry in the lead in the National League in home runs.
And a 1-2 pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I don't think anybody in baseball can hit the ball any further than Darryl Strawberry.
He and Canseco probably in a league of their own, although they're a lot of people think that guy Fielder has hit some big ones. McGuire, pretty good strength. They have some damage. Jack Clark.
This guy hits some unbelievable shots. So does Canseco.
You should smile. That's a great hit.
Whatever he's saying, he's got everybody laughing in the dugout. Probably telling those guys he didn't get it all. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Whoa, way inside. It's now 3-2. Keith Miller talking to Darryl Strawberry. Full count on McReynolds. He hits a high fly ball, deep left field. Raines going back, out of room. Home run, Kevin McReynolds.
Here comes Buck Rogers to the boos of the fans. He gave Martinez a chance to stay in this game. It backfired for him. A double and 2 home runs. 5-1 Mets over the Expos. Rojas is going to get the call.
Facade, what is it? The roof here at Olympic Stadium. Was that off Martinez, if my mind serves?
Yes.
I thought so. Fouled out of play. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Mel Rojas. Frank Viola has a shot at his 15th victory of the season. The Mets win this ball game. Down and in. 2-2. The Mets assembled quite a starting pitching staff. Of course, complemented that with the acquisition of John Franco. And if everybody stays healthy, I don't think anybody's going to derail this train. There's a shot. Foul.
The upcoming series in St. Louis. Sports Channel will bring you the game Monday night. That'll be Ron Darling against Ken Hill. You're looking right where that home run was hit by Darryl Strawberry.
Well, that was one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit. They say Dave Kingman hit one here, Rusty. You might have been with the ball club.
They called it a foul ball because they had nothing up there to say whether it was fair or foul.
Ground ball to first base. Galarraga takes himself 2 down.
Against Ken Hill.
Darryl Boston, the batter. Boston takes a strike. It's 0-1. 2 men down. We're at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Canada. You're watching all the action on Sports Channel. I'm Fran Healy along with Rusty Staub and Ralph Kiner. Foul out of play. 0-2. Defensively, here in the 8th inning, Expos have Galarraga, DeShields, Owen, and Wallach in the infield. Raines, Nixon, Grissom in the outfield.
Ralph's little blue book came out. We have some information. That one Kingman hit was off Randy St. Clair.
Well, Darrell Boston's not going to hit one right there. He just took strike 2. Can't beat Shea though, Rusty. You go back there, you get the great music. Buck Rogers very unhappy with this game. His team is trailing 5-1. Outside to Lionel DeShields.
Albert Johnson really challenging DeShields at third.
It's outside again, 2-0. DeShields was working on the bunt prior to the game, and Buck Rogers was working with him. This is the 2-0 pitch. Strike 2-1. We're talking about Shea Stadium. The place has been rocking lately.
And rightly so.
Mets will head back to Shea after that series in St. Louis. Open up Tuesday night. There's a looper in the left field, base hit. After that series in St. Louis, the Mets will open up against Otis Nixon. Takes a big rip. It's a strike. Howard Johnson even in further for Otis Nixon. You have to be. Talked about Otis Nixon earlier. You have to play him like you're playing wiffle ball. Sid Fernandez and Wally Whitehurst throwing in the bullpen. Otis Nixon gets on base most of the time by bunting the ball or walking. There's a strike. 0-2.
Big thing the infield defense has to be thinking of is the speed of the base runners. They have to make sure they get one. Getting a double play could happen because it's AstroTurf, but it's unlikely. But to make sure you get one with these guys.
Fouled off. There's the heater inside. He has great command of both the fastball and the changeup. Should last a long time because of not throwing many breaking balls. And the 1-2 pitch down low. Back to keep the ball in front of him. So it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 1 down. 3-all. Looks like the Shields might want to go, but he holds his ground, and Raines takes strike 1. You mentioned the Expos leading the National League in stolen bases. They're playing good ball the hard way. They're playing little ball, little baseball. Not many home runs. He just got severely jammed. 2 down.
Magadan, good move. Take the shore out.
Swinging the bat well today. Fouls the ball on. Looking on along with Doc Edwards. And the 0-1 pitch. There's a strike. 0-2. Where would you throw this pitch? You're a genius.
I wouldn't throw it down and in. I know that. I would waste it. I would waste a high fastball.
I agree.
I changed my mind.
Throw it down and away. That's what it do. Funny, when you're catching, you really do think 85% of the time down. No catcher really thinks a whole lot up. But here's the 1-2 pitch. Foul out of play.
He went to his strength right there. You saw Sassa move down and in. He threw the fastball. Wallach missed it.
One and 2 on Wallach. 5-1 Mets on top of the Expos. The Mets with 11 hits. The Expos with 6. There's a drive into the gap, but Boston cruises on over and makes the grab. So that'll do it for the Expos here in the bottom of the 8th. As we go to the 9th, the Mets are comfortably in the lead. Ball's popped out of play. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Foul out of play, so it's 0-2. Rusty, you played here in Montreal. In fact, you were a legend up here. Walking down the street last night, people stopping you all over the place. Tell me, As far as Jerry Park, would you rather play in Jerry Park or here?
I would rather play in Jerry Park, because in Jerry Park I could hit a bunch of home runs.
One down.
Somebody's negotiating. They've turned it into a tennis facility. In fact, the girls are in town right now.
What do they call it?
The ladies' tour.
Players tournament or something like that? Download a Viola. 2-0.
You're a big tennis buff.
There's a strike. 2-1. It's a nice sport. You stay relaxed, active. I know you guys like to go out there on the golf course. That must be a beautiful sight.
Great game.
I know. No frustration. Heck, here's 2-1 pitch. Broken bat, one hopper to short. Interesting play right there. Scored 6-3.
And Galarraga is really lucky he didn't get stepped on there. He got lazy at first base and left his foot right in the middle of the bag.
He'll have 15 wins after today's game. Imagine him spraining his ankle and missing about 3 weeks. Well, anyways, 2 men out. Howard Johnson, the batter, takes down low, ball 1. Hojo in this ball game 1 for 4. Scored a run, has an SB. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bounces up there. 2-1. Talking about other sports. Players like other sports. Howard Johnson loves basketball. Loves basketball. Darryl Strawberry, big basketball player. Kevin McReynolds likes to kill ducks. What kind of a sport is that? Two-1 pitch. Hit off the end of the bat up the middle. Owen to first. I'll tell you one thing. Owen has tested Galarraga's flexibility. Scored 6-3. I'll tell you what, Galarraga wants to put the ball in play. He has struck out all 3 at bats. You ever strike out 4 times in a game?
Yes. I weaseled a double in between, though.
Foul out of play. Did you ever strike out 5 times in a game?
No.
I did. I'm proud of it. Nolan Ryan did it to me in the minor leagues.
There was a guy, God rest his soul, Don Wilson, who I played with and then played against. He struck me out twice. I hit a double. He struck me out twice more.
That surprises me because you usually made adjustments. That's a strike.
It was one of those days where he had that breaking ball going down and in, throwing extremely hard. I helped him a couple of times, and a couple of times he just beat me.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Galarraga gets a ground ball, so he's happy. Hojo to first, 5-3. 1 down. Frank Viola in pursuit of his 15th victory of the season.
This would be his 6th complete game.
Well, he said early in the year, I remember at that welcome home dinner, he sat next to me at the Sheridan Center. He said he's going to have a big year. He said, I lost too many ball games last year. I wasn't happy with it. Marquis Grissom, the batter, he's 0 for 3, takes inside. Ball 1, 1-0. Right at Diaz to first. Scored 6-3. 2 down. Well, the kid from Long Island might pick up his 15th victory. You know what, Rusty? He's going to pick up his 15th victory. There's no way Montreal is coming back against Frank Viola right now. Mike Fitzgerald fouls the ball off. I know Yogi watches the Mets on Sports Channel. And even Yogi would say, this is over. Ball misses outside. 1-1. One and one. This should do it. Hojo to negative. Ball game's over. Frank Viola picks up number 15. Mets playing a good ball game here this afternoon. They trailed 1-0, came back, scored 5 runs. This guy's got to be happy. Buddy Howson, Frank Viola with his 15th victory, and the Mets win 5-1, and we'll be back.